Sucker bleu. I don't want to overact. What was that? This is going to be a good year. Not too shabby. The best game ever.
Hello and welcome to Hawks Recap. The Blackhawks just finished off their 5th game of the season and they set an NHL record in doing so. No other team in NHL history has started a season off with 5 straight overtime games. The Blackhawks have done that. That's just how good this team is. The Blackhawks celebrating Duncan Keith's 1,000th NHL career game. And he doesn't get shown up in this one like Seabrook did last year, where Scott Foster kind of stole the show in his 1,000th game. But the Blackhawks win this one, beating the Blues for the 2nd time this year already, 4-3 in OT. What a game. Now, as you could tell from the intro, I was at the game, which was super cool. The ceremony beforehand for Duncan Keith's 1,000th, Eddie Olczyk making the speech, the tribute video, Patrick Sharp presenting the silver stick, the painting, everything. The whole moment was super cool. It's one of those things where I can always say that I was at Duncan Keith's 1,000th game. I've never been to a historical game such as that, so super cool experience. I can't really say enough about the entire night and how awesome it was to be there. Obviously, the result in this game certainly helped. Speaking of results, let's actually talk about the game here. The Blackhawks come out firing in the first period, which is easier said than done after an emotional tribute like there was before the game. They kind of have to push that aside and flip that switch when puck drops. They did that, and they outshoot the St. Louis Blues 23-10 in this first period, and they take advantage of it, taking the early lead thanks to, you guessed it, a power play goal. Now, to be fair, most of that first power play looked absolutely atrocious. They couldn't even get the puck into the zone until there was about 5 seconds left in the power play. That's when Saad brings it in, and he fires a shot on net. Perfect rebound straight out to Anisimov, who's charging, and he takes a hot rebound, does a good job with it, and just whacks it into the net. Blackhawks up 1-0 12 minutes into this game. So technically they don't count it as a power play goal, although if you watch the replay, you see the puck goes in right as the clock hits 0. It's bang, bang. They could have called it either way. I'm going to call it a power play goal because in that situation, it's still very much 5-on-4. Moving on to about 4 minutes left in the first period. Blackhawks on the power play again. DeBrincat puts the puck on net. There's a bit of a scramble in front for the rebound. I think a St. Louis Blues player actually pushes the puck out, and Patrick Kane is there. Right place, right time. He grabs the puck, and then he does what he always does. It's showtime from there. He patiently awaits for his opportunity. It was really cool because I was on the other side of the ice, and I could see this just develop, and as he kind of patiently skated towards the center of the ice and waited for his moment, you could just tell. You knew he was going to score. There's no way he wasn't. It's Patrick Kane, and there's 3 Blues players just stumbling all over each other in the crease. It was mad, and he just snipes it, and the Hawks are up 2-0, and they take that lead into the second period. But before we head to the second period, I do want to mention that I did get some airtime during intermission. As you can see, boom and boom. Moving on to the second period, the Blackhawks kind of start taking some penalties, which get the Blues kind of back into this game. Nick Schmaltz trips a guy, or at least it seemed like they called it that, or we're going to call it that. From my point of view, it didn't look like he tripped him, and the guy just fell over, but they didn't really show a replay in the building, so I could be wrong in that. But play goes the other way, and you could tell Schmaltz just wasn't in it. His mind wasn't in it. He didn't really cover his guy when he got back into the zone and leaves Braden Shen wide open, and he comes into the slot and just rips it past Ward, and the Blues cut it to a 2-1 game. Moving on to the third period, still 2-1 Hawks. Blues on the power play very early on. They dump the puck in. Ward plays it. He tries to pass it right out to Manning. He can't seem to get it. It goes right through his legs, straight to Perron, who then just takes it and puts it into a wide open net, and this game is tied 2 goals apiece. That one sucks. About 3 minutes after that, Blues are on the power play once again. Some of the calls in this game, at least from my vantage point in the building, were either questionable or just very soft, and they didn't show videos of them, replays of the calls in the building, so I could be completely wrong about this. or completely biased from, being surrounded by 20 other thousand Blackhawks fans. But nonetheless, Blues on the power play. There's a sideboard battle, and the Hawks can't win it. Puck comes out to Braden Shen. There's a 2-on-1 going to the net. Pass is taken away very nicely by the defenseman, but Shen just snipes it 5-hole through Wart. There wasn't a whole lot of room 5-hole, but it squeaks through, and the Blues are up 3-2 early on in this third period. And just a troubling sign so far this season. Blackhawks coming out strong in first periods, getting a lead, getting a 2-goal lead, and they just can't seem to find a way to hold it. The defense can't tighten up, can't button up. It's disappointing so far. And now the Hawks down a goal, having to find a way to force another overtime game. But I'll tell you what's not disappointing, especially when you compare this year to last year. And this year seems to be the return to normalcy in terms of kind of what we expect out of this leadership group of the Hawks, this team. This past decade, we've always kind of felt like the team was going to be able to come back and tie a game. It's just a gut feeling. You knew they were going to just make something happen. They were going to come through and do it. This year, that feeling is back. Last year, that feeling went away. And they would just get deflated after giving up a soft goal or something. But this year, you could just feel it, or at least I'm feeling it. And it's a really nice feeling to have back, to know that, or just to think that they're going to be confident and they're going to find a way to get the job done. And with about 7 minutes left in the game, the Blackhawks get the job done. Duncan Keith steals the puck in the neutral zone, starts the counter rush, gets it over to Taves on the left-hand side. He takes it into the offensive zone. He passes it over to DeBrincat, who's charging up the middle, and DeBrincat with a lightning-quick release. I mean, he receives the pass, then shoots it, and just puts it in the perfect spot. Top shelf 2-hole, just rips it by Allen. I mean, that is a goal scorer's shot. That was just ridiculous. And this game is tied 3 goals apiece, and we're going into overtime. Well, not quite yet. I mean, there was some scary moments in the remaining parts of the third period. The Blues had some chances there, but the Hawks hold them off, and we're going into overtime. The overtime period was very much back and forth, 3-on-3 hockey. Both teams had some decent opportunities. It basically went the distance, almost got to a shootout, but with about 9 seconds left, the Blackhawks, well, instead of telling you, I'll just show it to you.
Oh, we go 2-on-1. 2-on-1.
Beat the Blues 4-3 in overtime to celebrate Duncan Keith's 1,000th career NHL game. It hasn't been pretty, but the Blackhawks have 8 out of a possible 10 points to start the year, and that's a very nice thing. A couple notes from this game. Nick Schmaltz very much honored Duncan Keith by getting hit in the face with a puck in the first period. He obviously came back to the game, but I thought that was kind of a funny moment. Funny. Alexander Fortin looked really nice on that second line. If you've been missing Hinostroza from last year, Fortin plays a very similar game. Very fast, hustles, getting scoring opportunities. He had some glorious opportunities in this game. One hit the post, and another one just Allen made an incredible save on. He could have easily had 2 goals in this one. And just as I said about Cahoon earlier this season, Fortin's getting his looks. It seems like it's only a matter of time before he starts scoring, and then we have 2 lines at the top really looking good. Speaking of Hinostroza, Blackhawks have 4 days off before they welcome Hinostroza and Hjalmarsson and the Arizona Coyotes into town, and this could be potentially Corey Crawford's first start of the year, and hopefully they take the time off to work on some defensive things while they're at it. And with that said, thank you so much for watching this episode of Hawks Recap. Let me know your thoughts on the game down in the comment section below. Also, let me know your favorite Duncan Keith moment. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate that as always. Most importantly, though, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.